I will. Hey, Sam, thanks for doing this again. Hey, Felipe was just named one of the semifinalists for the Comeback Player of the Year. I know you've talked about him a lot, but your thoughts about him being on this list and what he's done this year and his status for the game.
Well, he's healthy, and he's ready to play. And, yeah, I'm really proud of him. I think there'll be an announcement in a day or two about something else that he was awarded, and I'm really, really proud of him and what he's done, and to come over here and believe in us and choose us and do what he's done as a captain. Just really great year for him and awful great for our team and for me, for my future, that I was able to meet a guy like him.
Scotty.
Hey, Coach, I think you mentioned last night that y'all got some live work for some of the younger guys last week. I'm wondering if any of them particularly caught the staff's eye.
Yeah, I did. I like Buckner. I like the running back, Buckner. I liked Eric Thomas. Eric Thomas stood out. Keelan Burrow had a really good couple of days in the scrimmage. So those three guys definitely stood out, in those scrimmages. So that's good. And we had a good time. Jalen St. John, he looked good. So, yeah, it was good. Full tackle for 20-minute running clock one day, and 8 inside runs and 30 reps more the next day for the young guys. Really good.
Dudley.
Coach, you mentioned last night that, just going to a bowl, and especially one in Texas, helps recruiting. Just talk about that a little bit and how that, can help push the program forward.
Well, I think everybody wants to go to a bowl, and then everybody wants to win, when they get there. There's not a bad bowl, and there's especially not a bad bowl if you win it. And certainly any bowl at all was one of our goals starting the year. And then, of course, we wanted to feel like we had earned the right to go, which I've spoke on many times. But, just getting the bowl ring and getting the gear and getting a trophy and different things of that nature are something that our kids will remember forever. And our program, just to say we've gone to the Texas Bowl this year in our first year, I think that will be a big deal for us recruiting and moving forward.
Sam, if you've had a chance to look at some TCU film, I know they had several guys make all Big 12 on defense, and then I know, Dugan, he's a big comeback story too, coming back from some medical issues. Just what do you think of the quarterback and then their defense?
Well, Max Dugan is a winner. I mean, he's fast. He's not overly fast. He's got a good arm. He's a winner, and he kind of almost wills that team to win. And he can make you miss. He can run the ball. He can throw the ball. But I just like the way he plays the game, and very smart, takes care of it. He's their leading rusher as well. So just a really solid, really good player. Defensively led by Wallow, their linebacker, but they do a lot of disruptive things up front, a lot of movement, a lot of blitzing, a lot of line stunts, try to free up those linebackers. They're good on third down. They've got some good rushers out there, some really good speed out there. And then you talk about their punt return game. They've got 2 punt returners, 2 of them that are dynamic, and also on their kickoff return game. So they play they've got Gary Patterson written all over them. They play hard as heck, and they're physical, and they've been that way ever since he's been there.
Otis.
Yeah, Coach. Marcus Henderson, Blaine Toe, 2 kids have kind of moved around a little bit. What positions are they playing now, and where do you see them playing in the future?
Well, let's start with Henderson first. I think he's a left tackle. That's where he's playing now. And then you look at Toll. I had a conversation with Toll last week about gaining weight, about some other things. Just visiting with him, and he asked if he could move back to defense and play defensive end. We obviously need a pass rusher over there. He's long and fast, and so I moved him back over to defense for the bowl game, and that's where he's going to stay. That's where his heart is. I tried to move him over to tight end because of the need there, but he obviously wasn't playing much, if any, over there at tight end. I think he can help us at defense. I think he can get big. We get him bigger and kick can really run. So as soon as he gets bigger, I think he'll help us over there on the D-line.
Great.
Yeah, Coach, sorry I was having trouble with the call, so you may have been asked this, but when do you guys plan to dive in fully on TCU? Do you start like working with younger guys or working on your self scouting and stuff, or when does the full dive in?
Well, Trey, simply because we felt like we could get 8 full practices total with a walk on the day before the game. So we're going to get 9 opportunities. We've already used now, since we went today, 3, because we went twice last week. But what we did, Trey, we brought our staff in yesterday afternoon, and we started game planning. And I brought them in basically about the same time that we would, put the game on Saturday away if we would have had one. And then we game planned all the way up to 10:30 last night. And then we practiced this morning. And basically, Trey, it was TCU prep. It was a Monday, it was a regular Monday practice towards TCU. Tomorrow will be a Tuesday. Wednesday will be a Wednesday. And then Wednesday afternoon, Thursday, Friday, they'll come back Saturday for the test. And then starting on Sunday, then we'll go with another Tuesday practice, a Tuesday, Wednesday, or a Wednesday, Thursday combo, a Thursday practice, and then obviously the walkthrough. So we've kind of set all that up, but the young kids, we may throw a little scrimmage in there, Trey, possibly tomorrow because we're full pads again tomorrow. So we may get a little 15, 20-minute period of a young guy scrimmage like we had before.
Sam, you mentioned that Felipe's healthy, but I was wondering if you could maybe give an update on some of the other guys that have been banged up. Grant Morgan, Noah Gatlin, Miles Slusher, KJ Jefferson, anybody like that?
Well, just simple as I can say it, we're healthy. We're healthy. Gatlin still is a question mark. And I think everybody else, unless they, got hurt for the season, will be available for the bowl.
Jacob.
Sam, your introductory press conference was, I guess, at this point, a little over a year ago. Just throwing the COVID season out the window for a second, 3 SEC wins, getting to postseason football. Now with just 1 game to go, how would you rate your first year as Arkansas's head coach?
Well, I'm ecstatic to be the head coach at Arkansas. I'm disappointed that we didn't have more wins. Obviously, there's a top 4 in our league right now, and with LSU being obviously year in and year out, and Auburn up there too. But there's a top 4 that's in the, top 9 in the country, and then the other 6, we went 3-3 against, losing to Auburn, and losing by 2, 2, and 3. Certainly, if we'd have come away with another win or 2, we feel a lot better about where we're at. But I like the kids. I like the work ethic they have. I like my coaching staff. I think the program's headed in the right direction. Certainly, if we can get some of these guys that are seniors to come back and help us again one more year, I think we'll really like where we're at after year 2. I am very, very pleased that we're able to play in postseason. The kids were excited about it yesterday, and certainly you could see that in practice today. But I think we're headed in the right direction. We're certainly, if there's disappointment in the year, there is, because we just didn't get enough wins. But I am happy that that our kids played at least 6+ games close and that we were in position to win all 6 of those games. And certainly we'll learn how to finish that up one of these days. And hopefully it comes soon.
When it comes to roster management, when would you like the decisions from the seniors to be done by? And do you have some commitments from some guys that you know are going to come back?
Yeah, I have at least 4 right now that I know are coming back. I don't want to put that out there because I'm going to try to get them all to do it at the same time, to be honest with you. But then there's another few that I'm going to talk to. You know, the agents are kind of vultures out there, you know, and they basically, you know, a lot of them tell the truth. A lot of them say what you want to hear. And so we've done our work with the NFL scouts, and we have 3 or 4 guys here that we're going to talk to about what their positioning is according to the 10 to 12 teams that we've gotten information from. And then they'll have a decision. I'd like to have that honestly before they go home on Wednesday, simply because, you know, I think our kids trust me, and I'm going to tell them exactly what the guys said. And, you know, because I don't want them going home without talking to me and then getting calls from agents and telling them they're 4 rounds higher than what they really are. And I'm not saying all agents are that way. I don't mean that, but you know, they want them, so they're going to be as positive as they possibly can. And I'm in the truth business.
Dudley. Scotty.
I'm good, Kyle. Thanks.
You know me, I always got some questions. Sam, I'm sure you've had vultures in the best possible use of the word. But
I did.
But hey, getting back to TCU a little bit, I guess Tomlinson Hodges was a Pro Football Focus All-American. I know Andrew loves that because he's a Pro Football Focus guy. And then their defensive end, I guess Kari Coleman, there was a Big 12 freshman of the year. He's got 15 tackles for losses. Those 2 guys in particular, if you studied up on them a little bit, what your thoughts are?
Well, they're fast. They're slippery. They can get on the edge. They play, again, them and the other guys on defense, they play extremely hard. And, you know, they in the Big 12, there's, you know, quite a bit of throwing, even though TCU's leading the Big 12 in rushing at 214 yards per game on the ground. I don't know if they still are, but at one point they were. And they're a running football team. They just do it out of spread. But those guys are fantastic players. We'd love to have them on our team, you know, but they're good football players.
Does TCU look kind of like an SEC team? I mean, I know the Big 12 is a more wide open league, I guess, although the SEC is getting that way. But does TCU kind of remind you talent-wise of an SEC team?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you know, they're very talented. They're quick and fast and do, you know, move on the D-line or O-lines. It must average about 310 pounds. They got a big offensive line and a good offensive line. So certainly, and of course, they're skilled players, you know, in the Big 12 and SEC, whatever, but they got outstanding skill and outstanding speed on their team. They got 2 punt returners that are really good.
Sam, you mentioned Henderson earlier. I don't know if he's been dressed out the last few games. Has he been banged up, or what's his health status? And then also, do you have any update on Julius Coates' status?
Coates will be out for the bowl, and Henderson is back. He was injured, but he's back, ready to go.
Great.
Yeah, Coach, I was curious, is there any of these guys, you talked about some of the young players, is there anybody you could see maybe emerging, maybe as a starter for you guys next year that maybe just needed to add more weight this season or more size?
Yeah, it's a great question. I mean, you know, everybody develops differently. You know, I've been very fortunate to have 3 first-round guys that redshirted on the O-line. They redshirted and end up getting drafted in the first round. So everybody develops a little slower than others or a little faster than others. So, you know, I like the Henderson kid. I like St. John's. Both those guys on on the offensive line. Of course, obviously KJ, I mean, we've seen him, but Malik Hornsby, I think that's going to be a really good battle at quarterback in the spring, along with some of the younger guys we brought in. But you're asking about current players on our team. You know, unfortunately or fortunately, however you want to look at it, a lot of the young guys are playing on defense right now, you know. So, but Kari Johnson's a guy that's going to help us. And so those guys are the ones that come off Trey off the top of my mind just real quickly, briefly.
Kyle.
Hey, Coach, for those of us with a sports cast on Thursday and Friday, what does Christmas look like in the Pittman household? Any traditions or anything?
Well, we always go to my wife's, the Conrad's house up in Pittsburgh, and that's well, depending on the bowl schedules, you know, but we always go up there and we always go for a ride and look at Christmas lights before old Santa comes rolling around. And Santa hadn't been as good to me lately. I don't know what's going on. I've used about a one gift guy. I was up to 5 or 6 there for a while, but I don't know. I've got to do better. And but I enjoy going and watching the Christmas, looking at the Christmas lights and all that. Used to when I was a kid, all us kids had to do one song for mom and dad, but that's kind of over with now. And then my family on my side, we're kind of nervous about the COVID, and so we're not be able to get together quite this year yet. But Jamie and I, after the bowl, we might go down the lake for a few days and relax, but that's about it.
Last one, Tom.
It's been a strange season, and this bowl is no different. I guess y'all go in a couple of days early. I know it's a bonus for the seniors and stuff, but how do you think they're going to feel about the situation surrounding not as many banquets or maybe any banquets and things like that? Has anybody expressed any reservations about going to a bowl?
On our team?
Yeah.
No. You know, guys, and again, I don't ever mean to lie to the press. I mean, I may not tell you something, but sometimes I say something in here and then 15 minutes later it changed, you know. But I have no indication that anybody's not excited to go to the game and that our entire football team will go there and play the game.
And just what will it be like, you know, without the normal bowl fanfare, I suppose?
You know, I don't know. We're going down 2, you know, instead of one day before, we're going down 2. We're going to try to give them some type of a bowl experience, you know, in the COVID world as much as you possibly can. We're certainly not going to be able to eat dinner with the opponent and all that kind of stuff. And the other thing too is we're coming back immediately after the game, and then normally in a bowl experience, you know, if you play a night game, you usually spend the night there and come back the next morning. But I'm nervous. Obviously, I should be about COVID, and you know, in our bubble, we feel like we're pretty safe because we test all the time. Not to say that you can't get it in our bubble, but we test all the time, and just going out on the town down there in Houston or staying there overnight and going down there, just too much risk. But we are going to have a team activity 2 nights before the bowl, just us, have a little fun with it. And then, of course, the night before, we're going to be able to go to the movie. So we always go to the movies before a late game the next day. So we'll be able to go to the movies. So we'll have basically 2 team functions together, and we'll be wearing our bowl sweats and all that. So surely they'll feel good about it.
Thanks, Coach.
Jamie, come here. Come on, let's wish him. Before we go, Jamie and I want to wish somebody something. Put your face in there.
Merry Christmas,
Merry
everyone.
Christmas, everybody. Hey, y'all
Holiday.
been good to us. We appreciate you.
Thanks, Coach.
All right.
Merry Christmas, Coach.